Welcome back, folks, to WWE Network and Chill, where I, Graham G.S. Matthews, break down all the original content that I watch on the WWE Network. And I was kind of struggling to figure out what to review for today's edition. It kind of changes week to week. Earlier on, when I did the show last year, I went from Breaking Ground to Total Divas to Legends House, kind of a consistency. And I might do that again with another show like Total Divas Season 2 or another season or another show, whatever. And I was going to do it with this show, but I figured I would wrap up my review, my condensed thoughts on the first 5 episodes in just one whole episode of WWE Network and Chill, just because they're really all kind of the same. And I'm talking about Holy Foley. The first season, the first 5 episodes of Season 1 debuted SummerSlam weekend, and had a really busy fucking week that week. And I think they debuted over, like, after SummerSlam or something. But as you guys know, I was at TakeOver with John, SummerSlam, Raw that weekend, so I didn't end up watching all 5 episodes. And I'll binge watch, like, the whole season pretty much all at once if I have time. And I had time right after that, right before I went back to school. And it's not good. It's not good. I think I enjoyed it more than most people, but that's not to say I thought it was good or I would rewatch it. The reason I bring this up is that I don't want to normally just shit on shows on the network, but the rest of the season will premiere this weekend after the Royal Rumble. So I figured if you didn't really know if you were going to watch it or not, and you weren't really persuaded yet, you weren't convinced, this review should give you a better idea of whether to watch the remaining 5 episodes of the season. Now, I don't know if there's more. Who really fucking cares? But anyway, hope next week we could do a review of a WWE 24 special. I'm just kind of pulling something out of the hat here this week, just because this week, just because I just got back at school. I don't really have much time, so I'm going to review something I watched a couple months ago. So that we might be at a disadvantage from the get-go because of that reason alone. But yeah, Holy Foley is basically the 2016 version of Hogan Knows Best. And I have seen episodes of that, the reality TV show, but I feel like even that was more successful and even more entertaining than this. I like Mick Foley a lot. As you guys know, I've talked about it multiple times here on the channel in 2 separate video blogs. I've met him 3 separate times. Once back a little over 5 years ago in December of 2011. One of the coolest guys I've ever met. Signed my ECW book. Awesome dude. Then I ran into him again while I was on vacation in New Hampshire over the summer of 2015. And then I saw him again at a wrestling show about almost exactly a month later at Northeast Wrestling, and he could not be nicer. Unfortunately, the show, Holy Foley, does not paint him in the best of light, nor does it do his family any favors whatsoever. Now, Noelle, I got familiar with her. I remember first seeing her on his documentary of all things a couple years back in 2013 when it was initially released. And then she became like a fan favorite on Twitter, and people love her because obviously she's gorgeous. And people are like, how is she the daughter of Mick Foley? Well, her mother, Mick Foley's wife, is a former model. We kind of get some insight on her career in modeling. She does not come off well on this show at all. The mom did. I don't know if she's a lovely person in person. I'm not really sure, but she does not come off well here at all. And neither does really Mick Foley. I don't really think they've painted him in the best of light on Raw in recent months as the Raw general manager, constantly getting emasculated by Stephanie McMahon. That doesn't do him any favors. But being the whole, the Christmas obsession, which is cool. I love Christmas too. But I don't know. He just comes off very strange here in the show, like an obsessive, like creepy father, and it's really weird. The kids, like I said, it's like you have I forgot their names, but you have Noelle, you have her older brother Huey, I believe his name is, Dewey, and then one of the other little boys. They're not really little. They're like in their teens at this point, but they have long hair. They look like chicks. I noticed that when I met them a couple years ago when I ran into Mick Foley at the theme park when I was on vacation in 2015. But even they don't really come off all that well in this show. They just really come off as very annoying. And the mother is very annoying. Mick Foley just comes off very odd. Noelle, basically the story of the show is that she wants to get into wrestling because of her father. She loves wrestling. If you follow her on Twitter, you would know, you kind of see her passion for the business. And that's great. It's just that a lot of the things that happen, I know reality TV is staged. Like there's multiple. I can't shit on Holy Foley and then praise Total Divas. I feel like after 6 seasons, Total Divas for the most part is finally getting it right. Like this 6th season right now of Total Divas is fucking great, which I hope to talk about here at some point here on the show down the road. After reviewing seasons 2, 3, 4, and 5. But Holy Foley, there's a lot of things about this show that just do not come off as believable. Like the son got a job at WWE headquarters, and Mick Foley and his wife didn't even know. Like, that kind of thing. Like, it's like, I find that very hard to believe. And again, reality TV is exactly that. It's far from, it's not exactly that is what I should say. It is far from real. It is very much staged. And I understand that. But the point of the reality TV shows being staged is to add to our entertainment. Because I'm sure if they did everything real, it would be fucking boring more often than not. I don't want to see someone go out and pick up groceries and just get home and do nothing. I don't really give a shit about that. We all care about the drama. That's why we watch wrestling, these shows on the network, blah, blah, blah. But I just don't get any, I don't know, the sense of drama. Like, again, the reason why they stage reality TV shows, why they write them, script them, whatever you want to say, the reason why they do that is to add to our entertainment. But this show is just not entertaining at all. Again, Noelle is gorgeous, but she probably comes off the best of anyone here on the show. Mick Foley doesn't come off well. The wife, the kids, Dewey, the older brother even. Like, I like him, but like, you expect me to believe that he got a job as a creative writer or an assistant to the creative writers at WWE headquarters, and his parents didn't even know? Like, they completely neglect the kid. They're completely focused on Noelle. It's just ridiculous. The dialogue is terrible. Noelle goes to train at a wrestling school behind her father, Mick Foley's back, and that doesn't go off well. You kind of get some insight on Noelle's dating life with Frank the Clown, that dude from Twitter, who literally dresses like a clown almost 24/7. I'm not going to knock the dude just because he's dating a girl that's absolutely gorgeous or just because he dresses like a clown. I don't know him. I can't say. He seems like a chill dude. Don't have a problem with him in my book, but Mick Foley fucking hates the kid because he has no job. That to me pissed me off. It's not anything having to do with him or the fact he dresses like a clown. Like, who cares about that shit? But Mick Foley goes out to lunch with him or something to kind of get some insight on how he plans on, spending the rest of his life with Noelle. And he asks him, what's your job situation like? And I think he lives with his parents, or they're going shopping for an apartment. They're going looking for an apartment and going to purchase one. And he says, I don't have a job. I don't know how he goes to all these shows or how he gets all this money. I don't know if his parents are fucking loaded. I'm not really sure. But he says, I don't work. I don't really do anything. We'll kind of figure it out as we go along. And I respect the part, the figuring out as we go along thing. You can't really plan out your life. I understand that. But the fact he doesn't even have a job, and I don't know, I can't really blame Mick Foley for not liking him. He doesn't really get to spend the time to get to know the guy. But anyway, that's another storyline throughout the show. But yeah, basically, this is just, again, kind of a 2 cents overall review of episodes 1 through 5. I cannot sit through one episode again. I'll probably watch the rest of the season just to say I did and to say, okay, the rest of the show sucked too. But again, at the first time I watched it, it was like, okay, like the first 2 episodes were all right. But watching all 5 episodes at once really kind of opened my eyes to how really horribly acted the show is, how trashy, how stupid some of the storylines are. Again, just no one comes off well. I think I came out of the show disliking the entire Foley family more than I did going in, which to me shocked the hell out of me. If you want to get some great reality TV on Mick Foley, check out his documentary on Netflix, the I Am Santa Claus doc. We watched it back with my roommate and my girlfriend a couple months ago, and it's fucking great. It's awesome. Mick Foley comes off amazingly in that. But in this show, it sucks, and I understand getting him on the network for more exposure because he's the new Raw GM, whatever, at the time the show premiered. I get that, because the guy can't wrestle anymore. They want more original content. Again, as they've always said, original content for the network is awesome, but this has got to be up there with one of the worst shows I've ever watched on the network. And it's not one of those bring it to the table things where, okay, I like the idea of it, but the execution of the initial episode sucked. Because maybe we'll see, maybe bring it to the table going forward, maybe 2, 3, 4, episodes 2, 3, and 4 will be amazing. But this show, I don't really like the idea of it. Mick Foley, people are not clamoring to watch his life day by day. The only real reason people are watching the show is because of Noelle. She's funny. She's very, very awkward, very socially awkward. But she is cute. She's, nice and whatever, and she wants to get through wrestling. I get that, but it's just not worth sitting through this show for full 5 episodes. So again, maybe I'll have different thoughts. I'll do another edition of WWE Network and Chill after I watch the first or the next 5 episodes or the remainder of the season, whatever it might be. The first 5 are already up. The next 5 will be released, I think, after the Rumble on Sunday. So I'll watch them next week. So I don't think I'll do a report on them next week. But if they suck, I won't talk about them again because my thoughts will probably not change. But if they exceed expectations, the show gets better, then you know what? Maybe I'll do another episode of the show and say, you know what? I was wrong. The show got better. Here's what I like about it. But so far, there is very little to like and a lot to dislike. So I would not recommend the show. Maybe just to check out the first 2 episodes to see how you like it. But the majority of the consensus, a large, the general consensus amongst fans coming out of SummerSlam weekend, what I've seen since, was that people did not like it. And there's a lot of things the fans don't like that I enjoyed, but this is one of the few things I got to agree with the people on this show was just not good. So again, you can watch on the network at your pleasure, at your leisure if you would like. But in the meantime, and in between time, guys, as always, new episodes of WWE Network can show up every single Monday right here on the channel. If I get delayed, if something goes on and it goes up on Tuesday, you will be rest assured a new episode will go up every week nevertheless. So anyway, guys, be well. Have an amazing rest of your week. We'll have another new episode up next Monday. But in the meantime, though, guys, you can check me out on the Twitter machine at WrestleRant. Find me on Facebook at facebook.com/graham.gsm.matthews. Right here on YouTube by liking, leaving a comment, subscribing, and sharing the video. All that stuff is amazingly appreciated. Gotten a lot of great feedback from you guys, just from various things on like Twitter in recent days, Facebook. A lot of positive vibes going. I appreciate it, guys, quite a bit. And also a few other small things. It's not really related, but the Royal Rumble game that I will be doing for the 5th consecutive year this year. I super am sorry. I have not been able to get up the details yet, but they will be up either tonight, tomorrow. They can't go any later than that because we do have to pick the numbers at some point this week. So hopefully it will be up in the next couple of days. So I apologize on the delay for that. But tune back to nextdaywrestling.net. Check back there weekly or daily rather. New content goes up every single day. Raw reviews, SmackDown reviews. Check out my work on Bleacher Report, Sports Keto, What Culture, Hidden Remote, all that stuff. New articles going up pretty much all the time. So check that stuff out. I appreciate the support. Again, have an amazing week, guys. As I said earlier, I hate to repeat myself. Enjoy the Royal Rumble weekend. It's going to be great. Super pumped. And I'll catch you guys down the road.